Hi, everyone. Welcome to Relational Wisdom. In my last video, I spoke with you about relational privilege. And now I'd like to share with you the components of relational privilege. I identify 4 components. They are living your truth, protection, social welcoming and belonging, and self-worth. Let's look at the first one, living your truth. Ken Hardy, in his work on racial trauma, often speaks about the ways in which people of color can't live in their own authenticity. In fact, he says that they exist in a sort of compartmentalized or bifurcated self, and they're not able to be in their fullness because being in their fullness is not acceptable to the world. But yet, still in couples therapy, sometimes we encourage our clients to show up and be all that they are and to be authentic. But in the world outside, they're being trained differently. And so the body has learned to hide parts of itself, to not disclose parts of itself. And so that skill sometimes may be difficult to practice in the relationship. The second component is social protection or protection. There was a stage in my work where I used to call this component safety, but I discarded that after reading the wonderful work of Tyson Yonker Porter in his book called Sand Talk. He says that in Aboriginal thinking, there is no word for safety, but there are lots of words for protection. And it helped me to realize that that was what people of color, LGBTQI folks, or any marginalized people was lacking, what they were lacking in our world, a sense of feeling protected. And so their bodies were always on edge with heightened states of arousal, feeling unsafe in their world. And yet those same bodies have to be relational and intimate with their partners. The struggle is apparent. The third component we look at is social welcoming and belonging. I've worked with many marginalized people who have felt that they don't fit in to the world. And as a result, their rejection sensitivity is particularly high. And that high degree of rejection sensitivity also shows up in their relationships. It affects how they perceive many things that their partners do because of that need to be in this persistent state of looking out and scanning for rejection. The fourth component is self-worth. And as I talk about self-worth, I want to lean on the work of Prentice Hemphill, where they talk about shame. And they say that shame is an emotional ritual for the marginalized. And that means a lot to me because it helped me to understand how so many marginalized people live in shame and are shamed by our world. But yet still, in relationships, we're expected to show up feeling abundant and giving of ourselves, while our bodies are being trained in shame in the outer world. So I've shared with you the 4 components. Let me recap. They are living your truth, protection, social welcoming and belonging, and self-worth. Be well, everyone.